Testing, testing, 3, 2, 1. Testing, testing, 3, 2, 1. Hi, welcome to Game Creation. Now, if you've been subscribed for a while, you'll realise that I haven't released any videos for a very long time, and I've just basically been flooded with everything else I do. But I really want to make a commitment to this channel and for it to be releasing regular content. So from now on, I'm going to be releasing videos every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Instead of doing like huge projects, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a semi-ambitious project and try and break it into like week-long mini projects, and then in each video try and iterate and try and get to where I need to get to at the end of the week. So it's a bit easier if you want to skip bits, or bits aren't you already know bits, or bits aren't relevant to the project you want to do. They are designed just to watch every single day, and you know, I try and put some nuggets in there for everyone, even the most experienced users. Who is this for? I've got videos on my channel already about the real beginning stuff, so I don't want to just retread that water. I will explain everything as I go along, but I'm not just gonna treat you like you've never used this before. I have other videos that kind of are a bit of a slower start, so you might want to watch those first. Okay, so the question probably on your mind is, what is the project this week? So what I want to do is I want to create a game that incorporates loads and loads of stuff, and that's my big goal. That stuff will be kind of top-down platforming and racing and all sorts of things. So this game's going to be like a jack-of-all-trades game. The first bit I want to focus on is the RPG element, the kind of traditional 2D Zelda kind of style, where you've got tiles and you've got players and enemies, or a player and enemies that you've got to fight and stuff like that. So that's way too ambitious for this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set myself a goal for this week to get the project to a point where that there's tiles and a player can move across those tiles. That's all I want to do this week. Now, one of the beauties of ClickTeam is that you don't need to do any planning. You can just sit and play, and I love doing that. That's kind of my hobby, is just mucking about and just making silly games that don't really have any planning involved. I have no idea what I'm going to do, and I just kind of do it as I go along. When I started making these videos a while back, I realised that I realised that without planning when I'm doing a YouTube channel, it's a disaster, because it's very difficult to follow along and you end up waffling, which I'm doing now, rather than just getting to the point. This is hopefully the only time I'll waffle, and I'll try and get to the point in these videos from now on. So to help me plan, I've got my kind of just blank screen, which I'm going to show now. And I'm just going to plan the objective for this week. I'm just focusing on this week. So by the end of the week, I want there to be tiles, and they don't have to look pretty. Tiles like that. I want a player, and I want them to be able to move any direction they want, but I want them to move to grid tiles. I don't want them to be able to just move anywhere, so they shouldn't end up kind of there. That would not be good. And that's it. It's as simple as that. That's what I want to achieve by the end of the week. Now, something that you might have heard of or you might not have, the framework I've decided to use is called Scrum, and it's a kind of philosophy of how I want to do these videos, and it follows the agile philosophy, which means blah blah blah, waffle waffle waffle. it basically means instead of spending 4 months to create the game and releasing the game, what you're trying to achieve at the end of the week is to be able to release something. That at the end of each week you release something, then at the end of the next week you release something better, and then better, and it's called the iterative approach, and it's constantly improving each time you do it. And I think that's really helpful for a YouTube channel, because you want to be able to achieve something regularly rather than, okay, now we can actually do the game, and it doesn't seem to make sense. So what you'll see is I will basically not do an awful lot of stuff in this week. I won't focus on the graphics, I won't focus on exactly how I want to do the tiles. I will take more kind of minimum viable product approach. Now what does that mean? It means what is the minimum that you can do to achieve your goals. Looking at this, well, what is it? It's tiles, there's a player object, and the player can move. As long as I hit those objectives by the end of the week, it's been a success. As long as I've hit that objective by the end of the week, it's been a success. And I pat myself on the back. And you might find that this approach to your project will help you. Since I've started using this in other projects outside of ClickTeam, but within ClickTeam as well, it's been so much easier to really to know what I'm doing and set myself objectives, and then assess those objectives at the end of the week and find kind of issues that I had and try and improve them for the next one. It's really good when you're working in teams, but most of you will not be working in teams with ClickTeam. ClickTeam's all about kind of the hobbyist kind of coding, essentially. Something I will say about ClickTeam, and the reason I like ClickTeam Fusion, is that it allows you to do everything simply. So I can do the minimum viable product very simply and very easily, but then it allows you to then build on it, and whatever you want to do within some parameters, but not many, you can do with ClickTeam. So if you're worried about, oh, actually I don't like the way it does that, you can always fix it. There's always a way of fixing it, and that's down to the really expansive way that they've programmed ClickTeam Fusion. And looking forward to future releases of ClickTeam Fusion, they're only building on that more and more, so that's something they're doubling down on. But one thing I would be concerned about is, it's probably going to be really complicated. ClickTeam Fusion hides all that stuff in the event editor. You don't have to like just look at it. And there's some there's some programs like ClickTeam Fusion that don't do that. They put it all in your face, and they're like, oh, there's variables and stuff. And to a certain degree, Adobe with their products kind of do that, where everything's really complicated, and ClickTeam have found a way of making everything simple but have the advanced functionality there. Anyway, I said that this probably would be a video of waffling, and it ends up being, but I hope you enjoy this series. I'm going to be releasing these at 7 o'clock UK time every weekday. Please let me know in the comments if you've got any projects that you or anything you want me to add, anything you think I should add, and especially if there's a different way of doing something that I do that you think is better, which is actually really fascinating for me, because with programs like this you're constantly improving. I do not have the one correct answer. There's always multiple ways of doing things. Sometimes I will know the options and pick the one I pick just because it's easier to explain or it's better for that situation, and sometimes I'll miss a much better one. So that's my feeling on it. If you've liked this video, please click like. If you want to see more from us, and we've got so much more coming out, then please click subscribe. Thank you very much.